Hi YouTube. I'm just only going to be on for a few minutes. Has anyone that's watched the news or seen online has noticed lately that there has been massive amounts of destruction since the death of George Floyd the other day? What started off, I can understand people's outrage over his death and over what happened with the one officer forcefully restraining him to the point of death and the other three sitting idly by doing nothing. But then there were lots of people videotaping and standing around watching, doing nothing. Nothing at all, but videotaping. Then people wanted to hold a vigil. Vigils are nice, but I've seen this play out too many times in Minneapolis. And what started out as a peaceful vigil and prayers given by ministers and bishops that were there on site, after a few hours, people decided they wanted to move down the street. Break out some windows at the police department because they're mad at the police. Then they started breaking out windows in stores and looting stores, looting AutoZone, then burning it to the ground, destroying Target after they stole everything they possibly could, destroying Cub Foods after they stole as much stuff as they could get out of there. They even stole from the Dollar Tree. They burned down Teppanyaki, which is a restaurant, Ingebrigtsen's, which is a family-owned business that I really, really had a lot of respect for, because if any family is trying to work hard and make a name for themselves and provide for themselves by the American dream, which obviously doesn't exist anymore, they didn't deserve to have their place burnt down. They didn't deserve to have their place totally destroyed. They burnt down an apartment complex, which was actually subsidized housing being built that I had been petitioning to be built because there were so many homeless people in the community. So that means that, my year of petitioning and imploring the mayor to do this really nice thing that he was doing, it was for nothing. All those homeless people will still be homeless. In the cold, frigid, horrible Minnesota winters, where they're sleeping under bridges, sleeping in tents on the side of the highway, single adults and families with children. All that housing, gone. And I understand that people didn't know that that's what's the purpose of that complex. They thought it was just another condo going up, but no, it was really nice, affordable housing, respectful housing in a community where people could have access to everything that they needed. But it's gone now because of some selfish people. And not all the people that are involved in this thing were from Minneapolis, because clearly there were some vehicles from Michigan with some people that do not look like me, wearing gas masks, throwing bombs, torching places, and everybody's clapping their hands and patting each other on the back. To those involved, I say, you can't tell me that this is for George Floyd, because there's nothing selfless about this at all. It was totally selfish what was done, and the fact that people from other parts of the state and from other states completely come into my community and destroy it so they can get off on that because they're tired of sitting at home or whatever their issue is, it's not right. It's not okay. There are families that live here. There are children that live here. There were children out there seeing all this stuff. Not just what happened to Mr. Floyd, but there were children out there in the midst of this chaos. And as I went down the street this morning, I got to see the destruction firsthand. People are driving their vehicles up on the sidewalk, into the sides of buildings, breaking out the glass and stealing any and everything that they see fit. This is truly a godless generation. And if anybody that's using all kinds of profanity and involved in anything like this, you can't tell me that you serve the same God that I serve. You just can't. Because this is totally opposite of everything that God requires of his people. And of course these people are just totally soulless, and they could care less. They could care less that they destroyed the global market. That was where I shopped for my food. They could care less. They can care less that there were apartments in that building as well. There was a medical facility in that building as well. So you're going to take away our food source. You're going to destroy people's housing. You're going to destroy the medical facility in there? Really? Are you? Is that what's going on? It's not some little childish tagging that's going on. A charter school was set on fire this morning. Restaurants destroyed. There's no place for anyone who relies on public transportation to be able to get a ride, because public transportation is not going to stop anywhere around here. There's no place for people to go that need medication. If they're on medication, have prescriptions, needed to see their doctor, need to go to an ATM, they can't even do that because some idiot ran into an ATM machine today. It's utter mass chaos. Popeyes, the glass is all broken out of that. When are you going to get out of the chicken place? That ain't even open. And I'm sure they don't just leave money just sitting around for anybody to come in and dilly-dally and take during the night or early morning hours. The nail shop. Really? Are you that pathetic that you have to steal from a nail shop? And a hair weave shop? The optical store. What can you take from Midtown Optical that's going to benefit you? Eyeglass frames without a prescription? How much of a loser does somebody have to be to do that? I'm beyond words. And for all you people that say, oh no, it's fake, this is all staged, they're crisis actors. No, it is not staged. It's real, and it's impacting many lives. And it's spreading like a cancer from one city to the next. I don't know how much will be able to be restored, but chances are things are not going to return to normal again. And my peaceful community here is disrupted. And I remember, some people this morning were talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when the riots broke out. And yeah, I recall that. I studied that. I was a very young man. But this reminds me a lot of Rodney King and what happened to him and the riots that broke out and how he said, can we all just get along? And I'd like to say something similar to that. And hopefully people will take it to heart, because I mean it seriously in my heart. Because I am praying for this community. I am praying for my neighbors and the children. And I'm praying for the police and the mayor Because the mayor didn't cause this. The entire police department didn't cause this. The adult thing is looking at the situation and dealing with that situation, not saying that everyone that wears the same uniform is doing the same thing as them. Because that's like saying that every black person is a criminal. And not every black person is a criminal. Not every Hispanic person is this, or every Hmong person, or every white person. We can't stereotype people in these ways and just think that it's okay. Because it's not okay. So I'm just going to leave on thought with you. And I hope that you'll write it down on a piece of paper, put it on the wall or a mirror on your refrigerator, and share this thought with somebody else. Not today, but every day. And before you share it with them, tell yourself first, you're the one who can make the peace. And making the peace doesn't come by doing this crazy crap. This is destroying lives. Especially by those losers that are coming in from another city or another state to destroy what we have here. And then they'll go home and be happy and content. And here we are at a loss. Families and children and senior citizens that have no other way to get to food sources, to get their prescriptions. Peace needs to be here, and it needs to be here now. So it's not just meant for me, it's also meant for you. You're the one who can make the peace. Remember that and put it into action.